Before I get back into Glenn Beckham, open letter and video to him, Paul, what about this Kanye West guy at some video awards getting up as a stunt, grabbing the microphone away insanely, I guess just in his hatred of the lady who was on stage? Obama responds to that, but Charlie Sheen says, I want to meet with you with 9/11 first responders and families of victims of 9/11, and the White House says, we're going to take a pass on that meeting with you. They did respond to Sheen. He'll be talking about that coming up next hour. I mean, just talk about incredible pettiness.
Well, that's right. I mean, this was reported this morning that an ABC News report was talking to Obama, and he had, the White House claims he's too busy to even acknowledge Sheen's letter, never mind meet with Sheen. But obviously he's not too busy to talk about some mindless antics of this hip-hop star jumping on stage at an MTV Music Awards show. He spoke at length about that, and yet he can't even acknowledge questions that are shared by the 9/11 victims' family members that are put out in this letter by Charlie Sheen. So again, it's total hypocrisy. In fact, Obama routinely makes mindless comments about everything under the sun, yet he can't even acknowledge what Sheen's done.
Well, the silence really illustrates how they're afraid of the facts. They just got to have their Fox News and ABC News pundits and John McCain's daughter come out and name call. And remember, John McCain in Popular Mechanics, in that totally debunked joke of a research book, wrote the foreword attacking me by name. I mean, they attacked me in the first page of the book. I have the Senator John McCain attacking me. That shows they're concerned about what we're doing, and they will not debate Charlie Sheen. They can't debate Charlie Sheen because 6 of the 10 commission members agree with Charlie Sheen.
Well, they're scared to death of the power of the 20 questions that are outlined in his letter, and that's proven by the fact that hundreds of these hit pieces, which came out, mainly the ones over the last few days, completely invent things that Sheen was supposed to have said. They put words in his mouth so they can politicize, polarize, and make the issue partisan. They claim that Sheen said Bush planned a 9/11, and as everyone knows, Bush couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. There's no way he planned 9/11. Sheen isn't even saying that, and they know that by ascribing those words to him, they're just going to turn everybody off to it so they can spin it as just another, deluded Hollywood.
It would turn everybody off, but people know the media lie, so they're just digging a deeper hole for themselves.
Right, and I mean, O'Reilly, Hannity, McCain's daughter, none of them have even responded to Sheen's challenge to debate them on Larry King Live. They haven't even responded to it. So that just shows that they're afraid of the power of those 20 questions that are outlined in Sheen's letter, backed up by that bibliography.
Absolutely, Paul. Okay, in closing, Glenn Beck, do you agree with me? And I want your honest response to this. I don't spend my time bashing Limbaugh. I don't spend my time bashing people I disagree with who I think are phony conservatives. I tried to explain that Bush was just a puppet and that they would bring in a left-wing savior and then he would sell everybody out. But Glenn Beck is particularly disingenuous. Limbaugh did not support the banker takeover bill, the banker bailout. Michael Savage, Sean Hannity didn't support that. Beck made more trips than any other talk show host to meet privately with Bush. That's on record. He brags about it. Beck, when Ron Paul had a chance to win, he came out and really killed the campaign and said, this guy's dangerous. His people talk about bombs. He twisted the thing about money bombs. He still badmouths him on radio. He's very two-faced, is what I don't like about Beck. And now they have put him as the leader of the resistance to Obama, controlled opposition. So in 3 to 4 years, when they put a Republican in, there won't be real revolution. And so Beck can steer everybody. He just really is a key person for the New World Order, because if we could have a real peaceful revolution of ideas, a real move to audit the Fed, to end the Fed, which Beck, by the way, isn't calling for, that I've seen. He supports the Federal Reserve and says they're great. And then badmouths them at the same time. I mean, can't people see Beck is there to co-opt and control things? Paul? We lost Paul's connection in England. That happens sometime. Let's get him back on, because I want to get Paul Watson's take. We couldn't even contact England on our studio lines in Texas today, so we used the Genesis lines in Minnesota. Maybe some phone things going on between the United States and the UK over in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, across the pond there. But that's why I'm trying to be friendly about this, and I have no illusions. I know Beck's an operative. I know he's not going to listen. But at least I'm going to be on record now pointing out he was for the banker bailout and the Patriot Act and demonized Ron Paul supporters and said use the U.S. Army on us. And yesterday I was watching him. We had Fox News on in the break room, and Glenn Beck was saying, our republic is falling. It's on its last legs. Save it. This is all of our terminology. And many people pointed out Beck has changed much of what he says to mimicking what we do here, which would be flattering if it wasn't so creepy. All I want is freedom and the republic saved. And I'm telling you, Glenn Beck is a Trojan horse. Glenn Beck is a Benedict Arnold. Paul Watson, do you agree with me about Glenn Beck and about having to stand up against him and point out that this guy is completely two-faced?
Well, Beck is there to sucker the grassroots conservative in and make them believe that they can fix everything by voting in a Republican in 2012. I mean, Beck is the equivalent of what people like Olbermann and all those MSNBC anchors were before Obama got in. You know, they put it out that we could get the change we deserved by voting in Obama. Everybody went out and did that, and look what we've got. We've got the exact same policies, and in fact an aggressive expansion of those policies, both with the wars and the financial bailout. So it's about making people veiling the fact that the only way to change the system is to reject the two-party monopoly, but Beck is hooked into that. And I mean, for years before he even was on television, we would talk about Beck and post articles on the website about how he was a virulent neocon. And he always has been. And now he poses as this libertarian when his every political stance is the exact opposite of what a true libertarian would embrace.
Well, Paul, I know him so well, I was able to successfully predict how he would debunk FEMA camps. When there's bills introduced to set them up, they're already set up. Houston Chronicle, New York Times, civilian inmate labor camp, we emailed it, we mailed it to him. And I knew what he was going to do. I mean, this guy is so evil. I mean, he's so obviously a fake and a two-face. I mean, again, Limbaugh wouldn't even support the banker bailout. He's far worse than Limbaugh.
Well, they're kind of lining him up, as you said, as the new Limbaugh, aren't they? But, I mean, there's already signs that he's falling from grace. I mean, apparently he's lost half of his advertisers in the past couple of months. So, I mean, maybe people are starting to wake up from him, but obviously some of that's come from the fake left-wing assault on him, which is just about crushing freedom of speech. So it's kind of a pincer movement that we're caught in. We have to defend him when he's under attack by people who just hate him because he has different political opinions to them.
Well, again, he's meant to polarize. He's meant to make it a Republican, Democrat, Fox News, MSNBC bipolar system so that people really get invested in supporting Republicans, and then they're going to have the victory in 2010 and the victory in 2012, and then all the FEMA camps are built, the police state's built. The Republican that comes in will just expand it all, and then we'll be called communist Al-Qaeda again. because we're not supporting the right-wing version of the New World Order instead of being called right-wing fascists by the controlled left. It's so elementary, and it just fools the public. And that's why the public's losing their standard of living. That's why foreign banks are raping you in a big way for tens of trillions of dollars in the last few months. And Paul, I mean, the good news is, though, a larger and larger portion of people are getting that both parties are controlled, are understanding the bait and switch. And I don't think this is going to work much longer. I mean, they pulled a rabbit out of their hat with Obama, and the same people that run Obama, Wall Street, are the same ones that run Beck. Beck and Obama are really twins in this thespian, theatrical, Shakespearean event. And there's not many more rabbits they can pull out of a hat. Time is running out. People aren't sophisticated enough to know exactly what's happening, but they know they're being lied to.